Now that you know some of our history, we want to tell you some of the more interesting and quirky things about LaSalle, the kind of things you might want to learn more about later. Our student chapel is the De La Salle Chapel. Did you know that a future president of the United States received an honorary degree there? You've heard of him before. The year was 1958, and the recipient was then Senator John F. Kennedy. If Worcester Hall looks like a big high school building, it was. From 1930 until 1960, this was the site of LaSalle High School. Did you notice something unusual about one of the walls of College Hall? The entire building is brick, except for the east wall, which is stucco. The reason is because the original College Hall was going to be extended out, in essence double the original size. But they were running short of money when College Hall was built, and they figured they would simply extend the building later in time. The stucco sort of reminds us of unfinished business. Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell has publicly stated that his political career began at LaSalle when he gave his first political speech here in 1977, when he was seeking the office of Philadelphia District Attorney. We once had a head coach for men's basketball who taught a course about William Shakespeare. And we once had an art teacher who was an amateur boxer. You've heard of Kobe Bryant, but guess where Kobe's father went to college and played basketball and even coached basketball? Yes, it was LaSalle. One of our star players was Kobe's dad, Joe Bryant. Speaking of basketball, would you believe that in our long history, LaSalle has had 21 of our basketball stars play in professional basketball, ABA or NBA. You've probably seen our main quadrangle. Did you ever wonder why it is elevated? It's because there is so much rock beneath the grass and trees. When LaSalle originally came to this property, it was decided not to excavate the quadrangle down to the level of the nearby driveways because of the high cost of removing that rock. And maybe you've seen a smaller quadrangle on our campus located between McShane Hall and Benilde Hall. One of our older buildings, Leonard Hall, used to stand there. This small quadrangle was laid out in 1977, but several years later it won a national award for creative landscaping. McShane Hall houses the counseling center and other offices. Did you know that the man who built McShane Hall also built the Pentagon and the Jefferson Memorial in Washington, D.C.? Trolley cars used to rumble past College Hall on Olney Avenue. We mentioned one of our distinguished alumni, actor Peter Boyle. He used to be a Christian brother earlier in life, and he was the best man at the wedding of John Lennon and Yoko Ono. One of the first actors on The Real World on MTV was a LaSalle graduate, Glenn Nasons. You've been in our campus store by now, but did you know it used to be a gymnasium in the old days? And after that, it was an annex for our library. An article and photo of one of our graduates, Dr. Michael Mandarino, appeared in Time magazine in 1959 because he and another doctor pioneered the usage of a special surgical glue for broken bones. 20 years earlier, this same LaSallian dished out bone-crunching tackles for both the LaSalle Explorers and then the Philadelphia Eagles. One of our graduates coached more men's college basketball games than anyone else in history. His name is Jim Phelan, and he retired several years ago after being head coach at Mount St. Mary's University in Maryland for 49 consecutive years. In our long history, LaSalle has had 17 athletes who have been Olympians. Of these 17, 4 have won gold medals in crew and in swimming. And 2 of these 17 Olympians won bronze medals in field hockey. Not bad for a school of our size.